He had been howling at something for 6 nights. On the 7th night, she turned the monitor off. That is the detail she cannot get past. They thought the Husky was reacting to the monitor's static. He was reacting to something the monitor was not designed to detect. Bridget L. Acon was 34, a licensed practical nurse who worked 4-day weeks at a geriatric care facility. She understood equipment. She understood alerts. She understood what it meant when a monitoring device did its job, and what it meant when it didn't. She trusted instruments. Her daughter, Mila, was 17 months old. Their Siberian Husky, a 3-year-old named Kodiak, had been with the family since before Mila. He was a vocal dog in the way Huskies specifically are. Opinionated, communicative, not shy about stating his position on things. Bridget had learned to read the register of his vocalizations the way you learn to read a particular person's voice. The difference between his "I want to go outside" sound and his "someone is at the door" sound and his "I do not like what is happening in this room" sound. The new sound started on a Thursday. At 11:40 p.m., Kodiak sat up in the hallway outside Mila's room and produced a sustained low howl. Not loud, not panicked. Deliberate and continuous. Bridget was in bed with her husband, Tomas. They both woke. Bridget checked the baby monitor. Mila was asleep in her crib, breathing normally, not moving. Bridget got up, checked on her physically, found nothing wrong, came back to bed. Kodiak was still in the hallway. She told him quietly to lie down. He did it. At 2:15 a.m., he did it again. Same sound, same location, same sustained delivery. Bridget checked the monitor. Mila was fine. She got up again, checked physically. Fine. She came back to bed. Tomas said, half asleep, "Is it the monitor?" She thought about it. The monitor produced a soft white noise that it played continuously. Maybe that was triggering the Husky's vocalization instinct. This happened for 6 nights. The pattern was consistent. Between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., Kodiak would sit in the hallway and howl until one of them got up and went to the room. Each time, Mila was fine. Each time, the monitor showed nothing. Each time, the monitor showed nothing. By the 6th night, Tomas said what they were both thinking. He's responding to the monitor sound. It's the frequency. Let's turn it off tonight and see if he stops. Bridget was a nurse. She had worked in environments built around the principle that you do not silence an alarm until you understand what it is alarming about. She knew this. She turned the monitor off anyway. She was exhausted. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you are in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. At 1:08 a.m., with the monitor off and the hallway quiet, Kodiak did something he had not done in 6 nights of howling. He stopped howling. He went to Mila's door and he threw himself against it. Not scratching, impact. The full weight of a 60-pound husky hitting a hollow interior door repeatedly, the sound of something that had run out of other options. Bridget was in Mila's room in 12 seconds. Mila was in the crib. She was not crying. Her arms were at her sides. Her eyes were open but not focused. Her skin was hot. Her breathing was too rapid and too shallow, the particular breathing pattern Bridget recognized from her work with elderly patients before pneumonia became visible on a film. She lifted her daughter, registered the limpness that was not normal limpness, and called for Tomas before she finished the sentence in her head. Mila's temperature in the car was 104.7. At the emergency department, the attending physician, Dr. Samuel Osei, found what 6 days of nighttime howling had been pointing at. Mila had an ear infection that had progressed to a developing mastoid infection. A bacterial spread from the middle ear into the bone behind it. It was early. It was caught. The imaging showed the beginning of the process, not the full course of it. With IV antibiotics started that night, Mila did not need surgery. She was home in 4 days. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Dr. Osei asked Bridget during discharge how they'd known to come in. She told him. He was quiet for a moment. He said, ear infections at that stage produce a specific pressure in the middle ear. The pain pattern in very young children is nocturnal, worse when lying down because of fluid movement. She was probably in significant discomfort every night between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. and expressing it subvocally in ways an adult wouldn't register. He looked at her. A dog with a well-developed relationship with that child would absolutely register it. The 6 nights of howling were not about the monitor. The monitor was in the room where the pain was happening. Kodiak was sitting in the hall outside a room where he could hear something that was not right, at the exact hours when it was not right, and making noise at the only people who could do something about it. Bridget turned the monitor off. He escalated. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who spend 6 nights saying something in the only language they have. If these stories matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Kodiak came back inside on the 4th day. He went directly to Mila's room. She was in her crib, medicated, drowsy, but looking at him when he arrived. He sniffed the air near the crib rail. Then he lay down on the floor beside it and exhaled once, long and slow, and said nothing for the first time in what felt like a very long week. The monitor stayed on from that point forward. The volume was turned up, not down. And Bridget, who had spent 14 years trusting instruments, added one more to the list. The next story involves a dog who would not let a toddler enter a room, and a family who spent 9 days convinced he was jealous before they found out what was in the wall.